Hey there, everyone. Adam here with the Bullpen podcast, coming to you a day after both the National League and the American League wildcard series have officially come to an end. We saw four sweeps in the wildcard series. The Tampa Bay Rays were swept by the Texas Rangers. The Toronto Blue Jays were swept by the Minnesota Twins. The Philadelphia Phillies and Arizona Diamondbacks both swept their series, eliminating both the Miami Marlins and the Milwaukee Brewers, with all series ending on Wednesday. So that sets up our division series matchups, which will kick off on Saturday. So all four division series will kick off on Saturday. The schedule for Saturday will be Texas at Baltimore, kicking off at 1:03 on FS1. Minnesota at Houston, kicking off at FS1 again at 4:45. So back-to-back features on FS1. Over on TBS, starting at 6:07. Philadelphia at Atlanta, and then Arizona at Los Angeles at 9:20. Those times are all Eastern Standard Times. All American League Division Series will take place on Fox Sports 1 or FS1. All National League Series will take place on TBS. So all four series kick off on Saturday, and then we get to the alternating days. On Sunday, it will be both American League Division Series Games 2, Texas at Baltimore, Minnesota at Houston, first game at 4:07, second game at 8:03, both games on FS1. And then on Monday, October 9th, Philadelphia at Atlanta and Arizona at Los Angeles. First game at 6:07, second game at 9:07 Eastern Time. But we're going to go ahead and give you guys a quick prediction for the division series. So let's go ahead and dive right into that real quick. Our first series we're going to talk about is Texas at Baltimore. Texas is coming off a sweep of the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa had the second best record in the American League. We'll talk about the low attendance record that the Rays set for the two wildcard games on Sunday. But right now we're talking about Texas at Baltimore. Texas does go in as an underdog against the Baltimore Orioles. I am taking Baltimore in this series in a 4-game series win. I think Baltimore does come out to take the first two games. I do think Texas will salvage game 3 back in Arlington, but I do think Baltimore officially closes out in game 4 in Arlington. So Baltimore in 4 for this division series. Our second division series will be Minnesota at Houston. Now, if you saw the end of the Minnesota series, Twins fans were chanting, "We won Houston." They got their wish. They had the defending World Series champions in their division series matchup. However, I do think Houston will take this series in a sweep. I think Houston does a clean sweep of Minnesota. Now, Minnesota is coming off a great series against the Toronto Blue Jays, in which they not only won their first postseason game since 2004, they also won their first postseason series at home since the 91 World Series. So Minnesota does have a lot of momentum going into this series. However, I do think that Houston will be ultimate purveyors in this series. I am taking Houston in a sweep. So, recapping my division series, at least for the American League, Baltimore, Houston will meet in the ALCS when this is all said and done. So, Baltimore over Texas in 4, Houston over Minnesota in 3. Moving over to the National League, we have the Philadelphia Phillies and Atlanta Braves. This sets up a rematch of last year's NLDS, in which the Phillies did come out on top over the Atlanta Braves in a kind of a little stunner. Braves were coming off a World Series appearance in 2021. Not so great in 2022. They're picked to be champions in 2022. So now in 2023, Braves, best record in baseball, kind of ran away with the division, had locked up by September. They got red hot Philadelphia Phillies team, who were the top wild card seed this year. Remember, last year Philadelphia was the 6th seed going into this series against Atlanta. They're now the 4th seed facing the 1 seed. This series, I think, will go 5 games. I think out of the 4 series, this series will go 5 games. However, I do think it will be a close series, but I am tipping the favor to Atlanta. I think Atlanta does come out on top in this series. They got good pitching, good defense, good offense. They have a well-rounded team, in my opinion. So I think the Atlanta Braves will be purveyors in this series, but in a 5-game series. Another rematch going all the way back to 2017 NLDS, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks at Los Angeles Dodgers. Diamondbacks are coming off a series in which they had to come back in both games 1 and 2 to beat the Brewers and prevailing in their sweep in Milwaukee, and they set up a rematch with their NL West rivals, Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, Arizona does have a lot of momentum coming in. They kind of, again, backed into the playoffs off a 4-game losing streak, but that didn't really seem to slow them down. They kind of ramped back up and got the offense going, got the pitching going. They got tremendous pitching from their bullpen in game 1. Zach Gallen came out in game 2, kind of saved the bullpen a little, gave them 7 strong innings, which left the bullpen 3 innings to finish off the series. I am picking Arizona. This is going to be my upset series. I am picking Arizona. I kind of see I am in Arizona gear right now, but I am picking Arizona in this series. I think it will go 5 games as well. I think Arizona does have a lot of momentum going into this series. So I am picking the upset, Arizona over Los Angeles in 5. So recap of the NLDS picks. Both series will go 5 games, setting up a Braves, Diamondbacks, NLCS. We'll be back on Sunday with our regular show. We'll recap the wildcard series. We'll kind of get you caught up on the division series, both games 1 and game 2 for the AL side, and we'll preview the rest of the series. Don't forget to head over to our Twitter account at the Bullpen Pod. We had 4 polls open. We want to know who you think is going to win each division series. So those polls will be open for one more day. We'll be closing on Saturday. So make sure you head over to the Bullpen Pod to vote for who you think will win both the NLDS and the ALDS. Until then, we'll see you on Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, live on YouTube and Twitter.